dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good afternoon, I'm Keaton Hall. 1 year since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, it's estimated more than 200,000 people have been killed from both sides. Ukraine's president honored those lost on Friday and vowed to keep defending his country. CBS's Willie James Inman is in Washington with details, including the latest round of U.S. aid.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky became emotional when talking about his family on Friday, the one-year mark of Russia's invasion. My children are the most important people for me, he said. I do not see them often. Asked what he wants from Moscow, Zelensky said the Russians must stop bombing civilians and leave Ukraine. The Ukrainian leader commemorated the war's one-year mark with a solemn memorial in Kyiv, honoring soldiers and the relatives of those killed. What? On the front lines, a 31-year-old radio operator Ivan remembers the Polish fish factory he was working at when he heard of the invasion. He then rushed home to defend his country. Now he says he's grateful for the support from people around the world.
If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine ends.
The U.S. announced a new $2 billion security assistance package that includes more ammunition and small high-tech drones, as well as another round of sanctions on Russian companies, banks, and people. For more immediate help, Poland delivered the first batch of German-made Leopard tanks, while Russia's ally China called for a ceasefire and laid out a 12-point peace plan. Zelensky was receptive to Beijing's possible diplomatic role, and he said he eventually plans on meeting with China's president. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Another American has been killed fighting in Ukraine. 28-year-old Andrew Peters, a U.S. Army veteran from Wisconsin, was with Ukraine's International Legion.
Cool and quiet weather continues across the mountains tonight. Here's a live look right now over at the London Corbin Airport. Current temperature 42 degrees under a cloudy sky tonight, and most of us in those 40s at this moment. Some of us in the upper 30s as well. 37 for Pikeville and Jackson, 39 for Hazard, 45 for Manchester, and 41 over in Somerset. So temperature is a little bit cool out there as you step out the door. The good news, for most of us, we are dry. A few showers south of the border over portions of Campbell and Claiborne counties in Tennessee, but for most of us, we are dry as we go into tonight, but that will change as we wake up on Saturday. A few showers are possible late tonight and early tomorrow morning. We stay cloudy. Temperatures falling into the upper 30s and lower 40s as you wake up tomorrow morning as well. Let's go through future view tonight. A few showers are possible as you wake up, and widespread rainfall is possible towards the late morning and early afternoon on your Saturday. A soggy start to the weekend is on tap. A few showers linger into the late morning and early afternoon. High temperatures on Saturday topping out in the upper 40s and lower 50s. A little bit of a break as we go into late tomorrow and into Sunday, but more showers are possible as we get towards the late hours on Sunday as a warm front begins to move into the region, and that warm front will bring some warmer temperatures. Highs on Sunday topping out in the middle to upper 50s. Also watching out though for the possibility of some strong to severe storms on Monday. This is a level 2 risk from the Storm Prediction Center. We could see possibly some strong storms with heavy rain and gusty winds and possibly a quick spin up tornado. So be sure to stay weather aware and have that first alert weather app on standby as we get into your Monday. Here's a look at your Community Trust Bank 7-day forecast where the weekend is always in view. A soggy start to the weekend on Saturday. Showers are likely upper 40s, lower 50s, upper 50s on Sunday. A few showers possible by Sunday night. Back in the upper 60s and lower 70s by Monday. And again, some of the storms could pack a punch. We are back in the upper 60s once again by Wednesday, and more showers are possible by the end of next week. Keaton.
Thanks, Cameron. We want to give you an update to a story we first brought to you earlier today. Kentucky State Police are now conducting a murder investigation into the death of 64-year-old Ricky Campbell. Campbell's body was found inside his burned residence in Knox County. Officials say his cause of death was a gunshot wound. Police charged 42-year-old Harvey Hood of Woolham, Kentucky, with the murder. KSP officials have Hood in custody while he receives treatment for burns at the University of Louisville Hospital. The state has confirmed a new case of measles, and officials say that person attended the 16-day revival at Asbury University. They say the person's unvaccinated was at the revival on the 18th. They say anyone else who attended that day could have been exposed, and they're encouraging anyone who's not vaccinated against measles to quarantine for 21 days and get the measles vaccine. 3 measles cases have now been reported in the last 3 months in Kentucky. Local nonprofits are urging state legislators that they need more funding for housing in eastern Kentucky. FAHI, the Housing Development Alliance, and others have formed a strong partnership to create the Housing Can't Wait initiative. It's led to homes built on higher ground. With that said, FAHI Senior Vice President Vonda Pointer says flood survivors need more help.
We are hopeful that there will be some funding that can come kind of in the meantime. The state legislature has the ability. They have a rainy day fund. We've asked for a very ambitious several $100 million from those dollars.
The Housing Can't Wait initiative now has 7 complete homes and another 60 in progress. This is the first Lego League season for Harold Whitaker Middle School, and they've taken off from the start. The heroic Hornets team has found its way to combine all of their skills together for what's turned into a state-level success. Coaches Jerica Conley and Andrew Oliver say they have been blown away by their students' dedication.
We got in this and we tried to have a fun experience for the kids, and then we just were mind blown at their talents and their skills and what they've learned and what we've learned throughout the journey. So it's been amazing.
We've got students that are really excited about speaking. We got students that are really excited about programming.
Students on the heroic Hornets team are hoping to create a robotics squad at the high school level too. God's Appalachian Project, or GAP, in Floyd County has continued its work in assisting those affected by July's flood. Shortly after the severe floods, GAP partnered with relief groups across the country, hosting them in its facilities while they were hard at work repairing and rebuilding several homes. Now, nearly 7 months later, GAP continues its work in meeting the needs of those still reeling from the high waters.
With this, we've been able to not only help with home repairs, but we've been able to get and to be able to help with new mattresses, new appliances, been able to take families to the Walmart Supercenter in Pikeville and do like a shopping spree with them.
GAP Executive Director John Morris says GAP is focused on more than just physical needs and offers emotional and spiritual support as well. The conflict in Ukraine has major ties to central Kentucky. Jessamine County is home to thousands of families who hail from both Ukraine and Russia. Tonight, WKYT's Jim Stratman and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw speaks with the Ukrainian man living in Nicholasville who's seeing a war intensify, but donations decline.
And I would have never thought it's going to be, that it's already a year, people still dying.
Victor Selipina is a native of Ukraine living in Nicholasville, where he helps run his brother's plumbing business. Every day, he monitors the news coming out of his home country, including what happened earlier this week.
A bus station was attacked, people, going about their business, going to work, and a few rockets came in, obviously, and we have people that are no longer with us.
During this past year, Selipina didn't just sit back and watch the horrible pictures coming into his comfortable Nicholasville living room. He did something about it. In April, Victor and 4 other men flew into Poland and drove into Ukraine, hauling 92 pieces of body armor to outfit volunteers who were delivering food and supplies to the front lines. During his short time in the war zone, he got a sense of what his fellow countrymen were facing.
It seemed like there's no future, there's no hope.
From the beginning of the war, the Ukrainian Pentecostal Church in Jessamine County was the hub for prayer and fundraisers. The trailer outside the worship center holds items for relief. Initially, community support was huge, but Selipina says over time donations have dwindled, coming up as small as this Ukrainian flag. One thing we've noticed, you don't see as many Pray for Ukraine signs anymore on Jessamine County roadsides, even though the war has intensified.
It's a people thing. It's a human nature thing. Whenever something goes on for a long period of time, people just lose interest. So, yes, it is harder to get support. Yes, it is harder to get relief.
Selipina believes the war could lead to instability throughout the world, and continued support and prayer is greatly needed.
This is not just about Ukraine. This is about the future of the world.
In Nicholasville, Jim Stratman, WKYT.
Celapina says Jessamine County is hosting 1,000 refugees from the war. Next month, he's expected to host one of the families in his basement. Today, Ukrainian families from across central Kentucky went to downtown Louisville for a rally for 1-year anniversary of the war. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. John Lowe and Courtney Lane Brewer will have highlights and scores from across the coverage area, plus preview of tomorrow's Kentucky-Auburn game. Sports Overtime is coming your way right after this break.